Welcome to the Ponderous Brick Thinker. This is another installment in Learning from the Pros. In this episode, we are going to complete LEGO Set 10314, Dried Flower Centerpiece. This comes from the Botanical Collection, which is part of the Icons line. And we're going to continue with Bag 5. And Bag 6 has more floral pieces, but then there's also a Bag 7 that has maybe what combines the bases together, but we'll see. So Bag 5. That's fine. And this one too. All right. So we're going to continue with Bag 5, and we're going to get a 1x4 plate with a modified 1x2, which is accepting of a ball joint, and then another ball joint receiver, and a smooth 1x4. There we go. We also saw something similar on the other side. The ball joints just really do help with posing, but in some cases, you just have to know the limits, as we found out in the previous episode. And we're gonna get it could be brown or a dark orange antenna. It's brown. But then a dark tan crown thing. That. Oh, it's one of these. I think we did something similar there. Okay, and then this goes here. So this starts it off. And then we're gonna go here. Get a crown and a round single stud plate with a hole. Going to be here and there. And the stud just provides the spacing between the crowns. Well, there's crowns from the Lego 2 movie, but it's I'm not sure whether it could have been plant origin first, but they decided to use it for this kind of stalk feature in the bouquet. So 2 are placed first, and then 5 more. So we're going to need just a total of 7. And 1 more. Though 7 seems like a low number, it fills it up pretty much as per plan. There's no give, it's perfectly right there. Okay, and then on this side, it gets this kind of piece, which I still don't know if it's a lightsaber part or not, but it goes there with a smooth pin ball joint piece. Goes in here. The gray is still visible. And then we need 3 more single stud plates with a hole to cap it. And we go here. And then it comes attached. There. So on this side, there's some verbiage which says, the stalks of wheat use nested crown elements to give the wheat its corrugated appearance. So they are crowns, okay, and they're wheat, not stalks, but maybe stalks of wheat. But yeah. So it's curious how they use these elements. Okay, I need a single stud square plate that has a claw and here we go. With that nougat piece. Maybe well, no, because sometimes, like in the previous episode, the bags had pieces from multiple steps, but it does help sort things out. Okay, and then a white crown. Here, yep. And then this piece. There we go. And it's attached to here. So it's okay. I honestly don't know what part of a wheat this thing will be, but it's nice that they kept this same shape so that it's related, even though it's a different color. And the different color just signifies this is another stage of the plant growing. Okay, so we're complete with step 96 and going on to this part here around 2x2 with this organic floral looking piece facing downward so that the studs are supporting this tree. And then under here, a Technic ball joint. And it goes over here. So you can see where just a little bit of place so that they can fit together. Oh, and then we place it right away. It's this orientation and going this here. Yep. Okay, and then another 1x4 plate. Okay, see, there we go. And then a 1x2 modified. And then again, 1x2 modified that receives ball joints there. And then a smooth 1x4. Oh, I like this arrangement. It's kind of simple, but also organic looking. And then these are the olive branch features. I'm not sure what they're called, but they stack upon each other, and just that simple move creates the organic look to it. And then 2 tri-leaves to be supported there and there, and just rotate it, and also, just creates a little bit more liveliness to it. And then here they get the 10 branches, maybe. Oh, and this one gets 2 flowers. Like so. And then another 10. There. Yeah. Okay. And then another one, but this one is this element, a tri-leaf on the branch, and then on there it gets a flower. And do that 2 times. There. And then a flower. There you go. It goes on the center stem here and there. Some posing might be necessary because if it's going to be next to another element, just clearing that out beforehand will be helpful. But again, it's hard to say where exactly this is going to be. But that might be something to consider, especially on this side too. But I'll need to keep an eye on how I do that. And then on this side, it's this piece, and directly on there gets a flower. And do that 2 times. Yep. Then goes on the center stalk. Uh-oh. Yep. And then it's attached to this piece here. And then another tree element. Let's see, 2x2 round with this here. Then the tree. And then the Technic ball joint. Like so. And it's placed on here. I already felt it push up because something was there. But I think like that. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so then we go to the middle part to get these here. We're going to get a 2x4 with a 1x2 or maybe 2x1 with ball joint, this variation. And do a whole lot of them. Let's see here. Yep. And then this one is going to get a 1x4 on this part, and then a smooth 1x2. And then this modified 1x2, the claw, like so. And with these, maybe they're wedges, they get this connection here and attach it to a Technic ball joint. Do that 2 times. Oh, no. There you are, it's kind of hidden. It's the last dark red piece there, so it was noticeably not visible. And then the Technic ball joint. Then I can put them in the inner 2. Like that. Though I do wonder, because floor, there is some thought to a floor arrangement not being symmetrical. I'm kind of surprised they did 2 and 2 on both sides. Even though there's no 2 and this is not directly in the center. It is balanced, but it's curious that they didn't do that here. And then a tri-leaf with a flower. And place it here. not yet ready. We're going to go to another stalk of wheat. We're going to get a brown antenna here. Get a crown. This part is the proper spacing needed for spacing for the other crown. And then 5 more of these. So near the completion, there's still a little bit more to do, but my fingers are not as sore as the other bouquet. So I am kind of leaning towards that I was out of practice handling Lego pieces, especially new ones, and that when I did the first bouquet back in January, February, that was harder on my hands because I was not used to it. So perhaps you need to, if this is a gift, you might have to give other Lego sets beforehand so that the person is ready to put a bouquet together. Seven. Okay, so then this dark tan piece goes there with a smooth ball joint connector here. And then the 3 single stud plate, round plates. There. And then this one gets a gear. Just place it on the bottom. And then 12 more. And when I accidentally push it off. This is the last one, maybe? Let's see here, sir. And this is 13. Okay, so there's a little bit of gray left, in which it gets a tan cone. And then it gets a dark tan plate, round plate, and then a smooth ball joint. And through there, this is still exposed. There's a little hint of gray there, but it's hardly noticeable. Oh, and then we add a whip. And then it's placed right here. So these are designed to be close to each other. Okay. That's there. And then what do we have left? it's still the perimeter. It's gonna, I think it's go here, but it's gonna push the elements to the outer edge. It's a 4x4 plate with a 1x2 rounded corner dark orange. Then a 1x4 plate with another dark orange 1x2 rounded corner underneath. And then 4 1x2 ball receivers all the way around. And this will handle the 4 more elements. Okay, so it's oriented correctly. We see this here, and then this gets a modified 2x2 plate. Each plate has only 2 studs, and they go on the center. Like so. Well, that's what is part of the base. And now it's back to building the elements, the floor stuff. Brown cone with a Technic ball joint going in there. Then on the other end, a T. And then 2 limbs, 2 plant limbs or branches go here. And then one on top. Okay, so this one doesn't get any attachments to it. It's the dark orange. But this one goes on this end. It's kind of difficult to put enough pressure to insert without taking these off. And then the next step is that kind of connection. See, we have the Technic ball joint and a brown cone with, we need a brown single stud plate with a hole, and then a whip. And on that whip, this pumpkin looking thing there, and then insert it to here. Okay, and then it says the peculiarly named bladder sherry is built with a Lego element that is usually used as vegetables, like pumpkins or lanterns, and a flexible brown whip element. So in real life, this is a bladder sherry, and they're using these vegetable pumpkin lanterns. I can see the pumpkin and a lantern too. Okay, and then go to another element, a Technic ball joint with a brown cone. And the brown cone supports a T element. And then dark orange limb branches goes like that. And then here we get a orange flowerish, yeah, there. And then it's ready to insert. In this one. Okay, then we're going to build another stalk here. It's a smooth ball joint with 2 of these elements. And then on the other side, 2 tri-leaves. And then the tan branches, each one gets only 2 flowers. There we go. And then we get 2 more elements with tri-leaves and a flower on the offshoot. Oh, it's just 1. I think the other one had 2. So it's a little asymmetrical. Oh, and that's it. Okay, and then it's inserted into here. There we go. Okay, so let's see. This part faces this direction. It's over the dark 10, 2 by 1 with around a corner. Goes like that. Like that. There. Oops. There goes the wheat. Okay, so that's the extent where it can rotate. All right, so we have this, and then a little bit more to finish it off. So we have this piece attached to this that can hold on to a claw, which in turn is supported by a T that is supported by this that can receive a T, but it's also a thing that can be held on by a claw. So we have this 1 by 2 with a claw. And then all the way over here, it's attached. That's primarily just to not be seen all the way here. I wonder why they didn't put that there. You can't bend it down just like this, rotate it. Curious. There. With that inserted, we go to bag 6. I'm gonna remove, wait. I consider this like it shouldn't be left behind. The other one had extra whip, so I'm not too surprised. Oh, I see it. Okay, so this one, there is a limb on top. So these are the first 2, which I have here, and then there's one that goes on top, and that top one gets the flower. I couldn't really see it there, but it is. If you count the tips of them, then it's obvious that there's 3. So let me put this here. Because it's dark orange of this kind is not common, so I did not expect them to actually have these as extra. Okay, then we can go to bag 6. Yeah, we'll see about that one. Okay, bag 6. So we're going to start with a 2 by 4 plate with a 1 by 2 rounded corner dark orange plate. And then this 1 by 4 on this side, and 1 by 4 that's modified with just 2 studs here. Underneath we get a 1 by 4 plate and 2 tri-leaves right there. And there. And then we get a, let's see this. It's not consistent, so it's 2 of these gray pieces that can accept claws here. Where's the other one? And here. And then double claw here. And then a 1x2 ball receiver modified there. And then ball receiver here too. And another one there. Think I got them all. Yeah, okay. So then here a 1x2 with a single stud on center. Let's see. So I like this color of petal better than the other one. Only because it's surrounded by similar colors and it's not immediate flesh looking. Even though it might be a dark nougat color. Okay, and then a smooth this kind of plate, and I need another one here. And then a single stud plate with a rounded edge to it. There. Huh. There we go. And then on this side gets a black rod. And then it gets a tri-leaf. Okay, then some tree limbs. Dark orange with a orange flower piece here. And then it gets 2 claws. Then we go here. It's a Technic ball joint with a brown cone, and the cone is going to support a dark orange antenna, and the antenna is going to hold this, the brown cone, and this. That's how they orange. If I interpret the drawings correctly. There we go. Next, so. And then over here, it's going to get another limb. Then over here, it's not on the center stem, but one of the side ones. Like so, and then there's another flower. Like so. And then we're going to get the cosmos again. It's not a T element, it's like almost like a bar, but there's something in the middle. Then it's a brown, round, one-sided plate here. And then the epaules or something, shoulder pads. And then it's a white single stud plate. That. And it goes here. And I need to do 2 more. Huh. Okay. One more. Okay, and then a little rotation. There we go. And it goes, I think, on this one. Oh, and then there's something here. It's get a nougat this thing with white, which is curious because this was also on the wheat. So is this all together wheat? Let's see what the blurb says once I place it. Because the flowers are cosmos, according to the other blurbs. Okay, the dried daisy head are constructed with a white crown element and a rare rock element first used as a gold nugget. Oh, so these are its own things that just happen to be combined with other plants. Okay. And then it's attached to... I think that's the orientation, so it goes here. Okay. And then over here it gets a brown cone with a Technic ball joint. And then it gets a dark gray rod into the brown cone. And then it's just left alone. Let's see, it goes here. And we get a claw that's just attached to the black rod. Okay, so then we get to, I'm not sure what they were called, but the spherical flower arrangement. And it gets a flower right there. Okay, so these are the ones I get. Six, is it? They kind of combine that with the total here. It says 50, but I'm doing it twice, so that's the 24, and the +2 that goes on the black single brick piece. Hmm. All right, I'm halfway there. Now the other one. So, yeah. This one does not get a... Does it? It should. Okay, so I see this as being done twice. Yeah, it is inferring that all this is done twice. Okay, so this one gets a flower on the bottom here. And then 2 circular studs right on here. They're over here. Okay, and then I go into the branches. So this step, I guess it could be considered tedious, but again, if you're enjoying the moment, then it's fine. Or if you're listening to music or watching your favorite show or being with someone making this, then it can be okay. Where this just prolongs that moment. But again, whenever you see on the picture, oh, there's a lot of things going on there. This is what it takes to make it happen. Whereas, say for example, other icons sets that it could be varied. Like a car or something, or a building. That okay, so in this part it changes a little bit, but here it's the same plant, and I suppose if you really want to make it unique, you'll be mindful of maybe the rotation of the flower. Because otherwise, then it's just the same unit, and the one I'm making right now. Because the stems are pretty much set. They are inserted and they can be rotated, but usually the rotation is so that all of them can fit without one of them falling off. So you just rotate it as needed. Okay, now my fingers are kind of getting sore. But luckily I'm near the end of this one. Then I just need to insert it here. And we go here. Like that. Okay, and then it's just two tri-leaves attached together with a claw inserted through the hole. Like that. It goes onto the gray, covering it up. It's just like the other side. It's rotated so it's ready. There. Okay, and then a little bit more. We have a Technic ball joint attached to a brown cone. And the brown cone supports a T element. On the bottom, it's a olive limb. And then on top, a dark orange. That's the first combo for this set. Mixing it up, and then, oh, it gets a Cosmo flower. I should have seen that coming with the extra pods or something. I forget what they were called. Shoulder pads. And then here. And it goes in this one right here. So by now we're asking, when does the rose come in? Let's see the next page. Even though there's other pieces still in the tray. Oh, now we attach it to the rest of the base. Goes in something like this. This follows that. Yep. Oh, this tri-leaf. Okay, and then just like that. It's clearing a way for the rose. Okay. Then we get to this, which is a nougat with a flesh-colored 2x2 round piece, on top of which gets two modified 1x2s that have a claw, like so, and then also there, and then another, but they're rotated, so the claws are in multiple directions. And then on top of that gets nougat modified 1x2s, but they don't alternate. They all face the same direction. And then on top of here on these studs, they get a ingot bar. This is the only one, so it's this color. Okay, and then we're gonna get a a cone, but on that cone is this half sphere that goes like that. But then right here, we get this inverted curve with a tan claw. And then it's like a wheel well. Like so, but then we rotate it so that if the circles are facing upward, and they go in the octagon, and then do that again 4 times. Okay, so tan, inverted, yep, not slope, but curve. And then this, rotate it around, it's there. Claw, inverted curve. Just trying to get the orientation right. And then wheel well. And then insert. Claw, inverted curve. And the wheel well. And then insert it here. Okay. Push them up here so that they kind of, that looks nice. Very nice, actually. Didn't expect it to look that nice. Even though there's gaps, the darkness creates the lining between the shapes to really sell that enveloping curve look to it. Okay, so then these already have the rods for the claws, but now it's pointing to something very specific. Let's see. Only on that side, and when facing it, it's the right side. Goes right there. Like so. Like so. Like that. Okay, so there might be a method to it. Yeah, I think it's all there. It's not falling off. But I like this rose better than the other one. This really does feel like petals are collapsed around the center, or emerging, or they're surrounding the center. Yeah. Okay, then it goes on to this right here. Oh, it's barely like there's no possibility for posing with this. It's just immediately stuck there. So that's why it seems so rigidly up, because that's basically what you can do. It looks nice though. And then for the blurb, it says, the intricate rose construction uses new mud guard elements for the inner petals and a new shell element for the outer petals. Okay. So they're new, that's why it looks so nice. Okay, and then we go to bag 7. So in principle, we have the whole centerpiece, but now we're going to pack 7. So 1x8 with a 1x2 here, and then it gets 2 gray bricks with a Technic hole in the middle of each of them, and then another 1x2 orange. And then it goes a 1x4 dark orange on top of the gray. Then over here we're going to get 2 stacked 1x2 curves. Like so. Then we're going to get these modified 1x2s that have a claw, and the claws are going to be in the center symmetrically. And then we're going to get some slopes to do that. Then we're going to push in the Technic pins through here. Yeah, there. Okay. And then these plant elements through here, even though these were not seen in other parts. I wonder why not the tri-leaves. And then what are these 2 hinge-like things? And then a plant element here. So there's only black elements and they're all there. There you are. Nope, that's Technic. Also Technic. Ah, here we go. There. Okay, so these are inserted into here. Before I do, let me look at this possibility. Okay, so it looks like it's either this or this joint. I'm going to keep it on the table, I think, then rather than put it on the wall. So I'll do that, but I'll still build this and see, possibilities with it. Okay, so let me insert here. Uh-oh. Like that. There we go. Okay, let's fix this wheat. It does look nice. The colors are really well balanced and they work well together. And they do suggest a dried flower or arrangement. Let's see what the blurb says. Dried flowers are sometimes preserved using a thin wax. The shiny elements in this set were chosen to replicate that wax look. Shiny. It's just Lego. It's Lego shiny. I I have not noticed the wax on dried flowers, but that doesn't mean that they not there. So then there's I didn't even notice these studs there, but they need to be held together with a 1x4. Just a little bit more support, I suppose. Up, probably to prevent that from happening. Oh, it's a 1x5. Yeah, they're 1x5. Okay, that's something to remember when I have horizontal studs, then a full width, and then 2 more. Yeah, it kind of makes sense that it's 5. Okay, so this is right there. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so let's build this part so it's stacked angles. And then the long pieces. And here we're going to get a 1x2 brick with the grill pattern, a 1x4 brick with 3 technicals, and then another 1x2 grill pattern brick with this kind of 1x2 modified at the edge. And then same thing on this side, there's a similar pattern. I'm putting the vertical grid on where it's oriented, but I don't think it's to do anything structural. If it's visible, then it just makes it look consistent. And then a 1x4 brick with 3 holes, and then another grill 1x2. And there's nothing there. The last 2 studs. Oh, we build it. Okay. So it is a 1x2 with a modified 1x2 with claw, and then another 1x2 that goes there. On top of which gets the smooth 1x6 plates, holding everything together, like so. Yep. And then these go in here. So it's pointing to this claw, but it does indicate that this is, if you have the 3 sets, then that's how you connect them. With this, and then connects to the other one, you go like that, and then like that. Let's see what these are representing. So that's, we use that. This reminds you, I guess, to put those there. And this is how it comes together. And, or this way, you inserted this half here, this half there. And then you have these on standby. but that's also how you connect when you do the 3 dry flower centerpieces. Start early, otherwise you might have some pieces among food. And that's it. I'm just curious about something. Okay, here is the piece list. There we go. There's the other bouquet. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what the next bouquet is going to be, but this fits the occasion for being fall and have something nice to be on the table. Okay, so let's give it another look. It does look very nice. Yeah, the colors are, for me, that's what sells it. Even though in person you see the black bricks of the base, it really doesn't call attention to itself. The colors really do. That's where your eye goes. So it's not really an issue. It's actually a little bit more vibrant than what's pictured on the box, but still, and that wheat. There's not too much support for that. Okay. And then here, very symmetrical, very unlike the rest where it's balanced. Yes, there's some general symmetry, but it's not really set. It's not a perfect symmetrical thing. There's 2, 2, 1, and 1, and then 2. But then here it's kind of balanced in terms of it's not exactly where you would expect it. The trees are balanced. They're more or less in symmetrical form. I do like how the limbs are overlapping each other. It looks very organic, even though I did not purposely put them there in this final form. I was just trying to get them out of the way of each other and other elements. This is rather nice center, focal point of the whole piece. The rows, again, I like this construction better than the other one. Again, it did say that those were new pieces, so maybe that's why they did not appear in the other bouquet. But yeah, this is a really nice one, and it does have a sophisticated flair to it. It's subdued colors, except where it's not, and it does have some. It's just I think it's really well designed in terms of construction and color. My biggest issue is that you can't go beyond this. Some of the pieces are not really posable, but it's like set in stone, and also the rows. I know it was set on claws, and usually what's on claws can be rotated, but this doesn't have too much give. So that is kind of a surprise. Okay. So the rose, that's all I can do with it. Whereas the bouquet, you can adjust petals here and there to make it a little bit individualistic, a little bit more natural, so that it's not a perfect construction. But still, it's pretty much There, you can't adjust it a little bit. Like little pieces, yes, but not the overall look. Um, just depends if you're going for asymmetry or symmetrical. But there we go. So I'm gonna stop it here because I think I rather like it. I won't get two more to make a bigger piece, centerpiece, but I think this is sufficient for a table. Not a big one, but it's still a very nice centerpiece. Um, but yeah, came out better than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be a little bit drab looking because the colors they're not the vibrant kind, but it pulls together well. So yeah. So this has been the Ponderous Brick Thinker. Thank you for stopping by. If you liked the episode, go and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see other projects or sets that I put together, go and subscribe and sign up for notifications. And see you next time.